Too many people in this country let their jobs define them. They feel the long, backbreaking hours that they put into the jobs that they don't even like determine their self-worth as a human being. And a lot of these people who fall into this line of thinking feel that they have the authority to chastise other people who dare criticize the system we live under. They say ridiculous things like, "Oh, you don't like your job? Well, too bad. Just suck it up and be a man. Be a good, real hard-working American like me, because I work these insane amount of hours and work my ass off for shit wages and shit benefits, but you don't see me complaining because, again, I'm a good, hard-working American." And a lot of these people who fall into this line of thinking also choose to chastise people who have more comfy jobs, like, say, someone is a YouTuber. You get this a lot. YouTubers just need to go out and get a real job. Making videos online is not a real job because, oh no, they're not sweating, they're not putting themselves at risk in any sort of way. They're not suffering. They're not hating their job like most of America. So that means by default what they're doing is not a real job, even though they're getting paid for what they do. They pay taxes. But no, it's not a real job because it's not hard work and you're not hating your job every single day. This line of thinking is absolute bullshit, and I would just chastise the people who fall in line with this kind of thinking, but it is really indicative of a toxic culture that just infest this country and infest the minds of so many people. The work or die mentality that is oh so prevalent in this country. I've criticized this mentality in a few videos on this channel in the past, but I never dedicated a whole video on it. I usually just kind of tied it into other issues that I have with this country and in this world in general. But anyways, this is a mindset that poisons the minds of so many people because they feel like you actually have to hate your job in order to actually have it be determined as a real job. And I feel that is absolute bullshit because it is just the mentality that capitalism just breeds in this country, and just a mentality that the ruling class wants us to have in this country. You're supposed to hate your job, and if you don't hate your job, it's not a real job because they want you to work under them. They want you to work in these horrid conditions and not complain about the system you live under so they can just continue to gain, and suck up the wealth all for themselves while we just get table scraps. It is absolutely ridiculous that CEOs like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos can hoard such a vast amount of money for themselves and not give it back to the people whatsoever, the working class. You know, the people who kind of ensure that their companies stay afloat and can continue to run and ensure that these people still have the exorbitant amount of wealth that they have. Because without the workers, these multi-billion dollar companies and these multi-billion dollar CEOs would not be fucking shit. And this is why the working class should not get complacent with the way the system is designed, because the system is designed to be rigged against us. It is designed to fuck us over, while the multi-billion dollar CEOs, the 1% in this country, the ruling class, can continue to benefit, continue to gain, without having to give any of their wealth back to the people. They want you to feel like your job defines you, because that gives birth to the idea that there's nothing to complain about. These hard working conditions in the Amazon warehouse that I work in, there's nothing to complain about. The fact that I can't unionize is nothing to complain about. The fact that I get shit wages and shit benefits while the CEO that I work under continues to be one of the richest people in the fucking world, worth well over $100 billion fucking dollars, while I just get table scraps and can barely afford my rent. That is nothing to complain about whatsoever. And I should just shut up and not complain because maybe I'm just not working hard enough. This is the mentality they want you to have, and I'm here to say that your job does not define you, work does not equal worth, and do not give in to the idea that work does equal worth, because that is what the ruling class wants you to think, and that is what keeps the system going. That is what keeps you being a cog in the machine. They do not want you to question the status quo, because the status quo is what benefits them and not you. You work your ass off while they continue to rake in piles upon piles of cash, while they essentially just sit on their asses, while you ensure that they continue to gain an exorbitant amount of wealth. All in all, more often than not, your job does not define you unless you're one of the lucky few who ends up pursuing a career, doing something you love and are passionate about. But even in that instance, there's more to you than what you do for a living. And life doesn't have to be this way. Work does not have to consume so much of your life, but so many people in the United States are just so complacent with the way things are. So complacent that in the midst of a pandemic where people are losing their jobs and not being able to pay their rent and getting evicted in mass, these CEOs continue to rake in billions upon billions of dollars. Jeff Bezos gains like what, $1,000 a minute? To quote a great Roger Waters song and album, is this the life we really want? Is it really fair that we work our asses off for shit wages and shit benefits while these people continue to fucking rake in such a vast amount of wealth? Well, just work harder then. If you don't like your job, just find another job. Yeah, because that's so simple in the climate we live under currently. Like, I know the people who say things like this are just drinking the Kool-Aid that the 1% has provided them, but still, like, you would think that just merely observing the way things are and the way things are stacked against the working class, more people in this country would question the way things are and question the fairness of it. But no, so many of them are just happy with the way things are and think that, well, just work hard, just work harder than you already are. Maybe you're just a lazy sack of shit who doesn't work hard enough, and maybe then, if you work harder, you would things would get better for you just magically like that. And also, of course, this breeds ableism. You know, many people suffer from things like addiction or just have mental problems or physical problems, rendering them incapable of holding a 9 to 5. But no, they have to work harder, right? Mental illness is nothing important. Just suck it up and be tougher then. Look, again, I hate the fucking system. I hate how it just poisoned the minds of so many people, but the lack of empathy for the working class, and especially the disabled people within the working class, is absolutely disgusting. And the fact that many people in this country, and in this world, frankly, see just banishing these people to the streets is also very fucking disgusting. But I already made a whole rant on that, so I'm not going to get into that here. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.